A big thank you to CuriosityStream and Nebula for sponsoring this video. With their help, we're giving away a computer. More on that later. Enjoy the video. So the other day I was browsing PC Part Picker just for fun when I noticed something really suspicious. Cheap computer parts. Crazy. I know. PC parts are becoming more affordable again. As a result, I curated some PC builds to show you that you don't need to spend a ton of money to enjoy modern PC gaming. These machines can be as low as $150, like this PC right here, video incoming, by the way, and they still offer reasonable gaming performance. For the ultra frugal, we have a $250 gaming PC. Now I know that sounds a little out there, $250 and gaming PC in the same sentence, but I promise you it actually works. So older office computers from Dell, HP, and Lenovo usually have modest components that still work great today. And because of their availability and antiquity, they usually go for under $100 assembled and working on eBay and even cheaper locally. Throw in an affordable video card and you have a simple yet fiscally modest gaming computer. I generally recommend a Dell Optiplex Mini Tower, or MT for short, and an HP Compact Mini Tower or Convertible Mini Tower, CMT for short. Make sure it has at least 8 gigs of RAM and then an i5 3000 or i7 3000 CPU or higher. If the computer doesn't have an SSD, then just order a SATA SSD of your liking. All of this should be less than $150 shipped, and please do not spend more than that. It is not worth it. With the CMT or MT model of the computers, you can grab an RX 460 for about $70. If you get one of the slimmer office models, which still works fine, and just limits what you can upgrade to, then you can pick up a brand new RX 6400 for about $160 on Amazon or Newegg. This computer is a great option if you're really low on cash. It's super user-friendly because you only have to install maybe 2-3 components maximum. The major downside is the upgrade path though. You're going to be very limited on what you can install in this computer, and your performance ceiling is relatively low. But there are enough options for you to upgrade to that will keep you gaming comfortably until you can afford something a little bit better. Because of this not so stellar upgrade path, please don't spend more than about $250 on this entire system. It's not worth it. If you have a little bit more money, I recommend saving up for the $400 computer because you will see some very nice upgrades. Now the $400 PC, things are starting to get a little bit more exciting because it features an i3 10100/10100F CPU. Honestly, I'm surprised that more people aren't talking about this processor because of its insane value right now. It's $80, 4 cores, 8 threads, 4.3 gigahertz clock speed, and it has a pretty solid upgrade path. I paired the i3 with the GTX 960 as a stopgap solution. It performs about like a 1050 Ti for $85. Not spectacular, but good enough. As always, if you can afford a better video card, or you can find one for a better price, use that instead. Throw in 16 gigs of DDR4 memory, a 500 gig SSD, a decent case and power supply, you have a solid $400 computer. This option is great because it gets you on a young platform at a low price. And although Intel won't release any new CPUs for this motherboard, you do have the option to upgrade to an i9 in the future, which will be enough for any current video card out there, and will probably be enough for high-end next generation cards as well. And lastly, we have our $500 to about $550 option. And this one is really cool because we can finally build a mainstream computer at a low price using only brand new components. For only $550, we get ourselves an i3 12100F, which is hands down one of the best budget CPUs ever, and we can pair it with a brand new RX 6400. Now the RX 6400 has many drawbacks, and I've detailed all of those in my review of it, but the ones that will affect you the most in this context is the lack of hardware encoding. Essentially, you won't be able to record any of your gameplay or stream straight from your video card. You would have to use your CPU. And CPU encoding, although higher quality, is a lot slower. If you must go with brand new components, the RX 6400 will definitely get the job done. But if you're okay going used, then I definitely recommend the GTX 970, the RX 570 or 470, or a GTX 1060 as a replacement. All of these cards are cheaper. They have about the same amount of VRAM depending on the model, and they do support hardware encoding and decoding. They are fairly old, but they still support all of the DirectX 12 features that you could want, so you can play modern games. And if you apply fresh thermal paste and undervolt them a little bit, they will definitely last you long enough until your next upgrade. And just like with the $400 computer, throw in 16 gigs of RAM, an SSD, nice case, and a nice power supply, and you got yourself a $550-ish build. The question you guys might have is, now Ozzy, how can you recommend all of these computers when you haven't built them? I don't have data for each specific build, but just based on the years that I've done this, I can confidently recommend each of these computers and give you a ballpark estimate of what to expect when you actually play games on each of these machines. To hit 60 FPS in esports, CSGO to Apex, and older AAA games like GTA 5, expect the following: the $250 PC to play at 1080p with low to medium settings, the $400 PC to play at 1080p with medium-ish settings, and the $550 PC to play at 1080p medium to high settings. For modern AAA games like Elden Ring and Cyberpunk, here's the ballpark for about 30 FPS. The $250 computer, 900p low to medium settings, maybe high if you're feeling lucky. The $400 PC, 1080p low, and the $550 PC, 1080p low to medium. Of course, this will fluctuate depending on the parts that you specifically choose, the games that you specifically play, and the settings that you specifically use, but these are all going to be capable machines. You just have to have reasonable expectations depending on how much you invest in them. And what about consoles, Ozzy? Wouldn't it just be easier and better to pick up an Xbox Series S or Series X and just call it a day? In all honesty, yeah, it's not a bad idea. I'm in the process right now of replacing my main computer with a Series S just to see if you can actually use that console like a computer. But if you just want to game and that's it, then I think the Series S is a valid replacement for a gaming computer. I recently saw a Series S for like $250. Yeah, that's a steal. So if you want to go that route, it works too. Now, I don't want this to just be theoretical. So I want you guys to vote on your favorite computer out of the three. I'll build it, benchmark it, and then I'll give it away with the help of the sponsor, CuriosityStream. CuriosityStream is a subscription-based streaming service with thousands of nonfiction videos and documentaries. They really enjoy working with creators, and because of that, they're actually partnering their service with Nebula, a Streamy award-winning streaming service that is made by creators for creators. Where CuriosityStream is all about big budget, non-fiction videos and documentaries, Nebula is a place for independent creators like myself to try new video ideas that are adjacent to our content. This allows us to be very creative without the fear of the YouTube algorithm burying our content into oblivion. There are some big names on Nebula already, like Low Spec Gamer, for instance, and Marquez Brownlee from MKBHD, and I'm in the process of uploading all of my older content to Nebula as well. I want to dive into computer adjacent content such as building hobby robots, and Nebula is the platform that I'm going to do that. Just gives me that creative freedom and that peace of mind. If you guys want to support me monetarily, along with dozens of other independent creators, as well as get access to a ton of documentaries, nonfiction videos, then definitely check out CuriosityStream. If you sign up with the link curiositystream.com/OzTalksHW, you'll get CuriosityStream bundled with Nebula for a total of $14.79 for an entire year. That is less than the price of a candy bar once a month. So it's extremely affordable, great value. You support me and dozens of other independent creators, and you get access to really cool documentaries. Link will be in the description. Oh, and giveaway details will be there too. And don't vote for multiple computers or for your favorite computer multiple times. I'm watching you. I got eyes and ears everywhere. But thank you guys a ton for watching this video, and I really hope that you found it useful. It took me a few hours to curate all of these lists just because I researched a ton of different options for each of these budgets, and I think I really simplified and optimized a great computer for each of these segmented prices. So if you liked it, leave a like. If you loved it, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao, peace, see ya. I don't know what I'm doing.